Welcome to another episode of Daddy Confessions. Yeah, this is it. Another episode, Daddy Confessions. We in here. Ain't nobody else in here yet. We're gonna wait for the people to come in. They might not come in. That's all right. It's Thursday night. Some fool out there watching the Giants play. I don't know why anybody want to do that.
Hey, come on now. Come on now.
Y'all still Giants fans?
Nah, but I mean,
you gotta hate.
Wait, I was gonna ask you what your team is, but I don't know what it. Y'all Commanders.
You see that? You see that bum Redskins?
We the Washington football Commander team, whatever they want to call it now.
Hey, they're going to the Super Bowl now.
No. They ain't gotta go to the Super Bowl. Look, but it's magic time. It's magic time.
Oh, it is magic time. You're right.
He put his hands on it, so it's going.
It's better than nothing. Everybody already happy, so we go. They selling out games and jerseys and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that is right in line with what we talking about tonight. But first, before we do that, okay, I would love to introduce the gentleman on the show with me tonight. But before we do that, okay. Tunde, I know you've been here before. Joel, you're new to the show. But before I introduce you guys, I want y'all to just hear this one thing. Okay. 25 years.
Wow.
You keep that in mind. 25. And that's 25 since. That's 25 since graduated. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
We done known each other. 30 years.
30 years.
Okay?
Wow.
30 years. 30
that's
years.
Crazy.
All right. So with that said, damn, that's a long time.
That's
30 years.
That's a whole adult paying taxes. Yeah. I mean, that's a.
With that
got
said,
kids at 25. I mean,
crazy. That's crazy, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, I was like, wait,
right?
That was me.
I was like, wait, you had kids.
So with that said, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the introductions. All right. So we're gonna start off with the veteran of the show first. All right. So T, go ahead, introduce yourself to the people, sir.
I mean, so my name is Tunde. Me and John have been friends for 30 plus years. Glad to be back on the show and excited for the conversation.
How many kids you got?
Oh, my bad. How many kids? I got 2 kids. I got a 11 or 12 and 11-year-old. And I've been married for, we hitting like 13, 14 years.
There you go. Old school. Long time. Getting there.
I guess.
That's right.
Wait, 13, 14 years old school? We old school already?
Well,
for the standard,
we already done beat the average, sir.
You beat the odds.
Beat the odds, beat the average. We done did all of it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, man. All right. So with that said, Joel, please introduce yourself to the people, sir.
My name is Joel. I'm a proud father of a graduated 18-year-old daughter. So I started at 25 and been at it. All these gray hairs, they're probably all hurt.
Right behind you.
I'm excited to finally be on a show with John and Tunde. I don't think we could have gotten any better than this from high school. I probably met John when I was 14 because we did the summer school thing.
That's right.
And then Tunde and I were roommates. It's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
And John, so a long time. But this is great. I'm excited to be on the show. So thanks for having me, and excited to catch up with you guys via our father experiences.
Yeah, man. I am so glad that you guys are here. And this is, as I said offline, you know what I'm saying, Joe, my fault that you have not been on the show before, because you absolutely have been in the back of my mind to be on the show for a long time. And you know, sometimes I fly by the seat of my pants on this show, and so things happen last minute. You know what I'm saying? I be putting things together. I even had people on here who ain't daddies by accident.
That they know of.
Well,
it was like, oops, how did that happen? Well, you know, we had a good conversation anyway. You know what I'm saying? The idea is still the same. So tonight, we are talking about fatherhood and sport. You know what I'm saying? It's Thursday night football season. I know some people are probably watching football. I don't know why they would want to watch the game, but whatever, you know what I'm saying? If they catch this later, we got the rewatch game. People can be a part of the rewatch gang and watch this later. That works for me too. But I do want to talk a little bit about fatherhood and sports, especially with what we got going on for the culture right now. You know what I'm saying? We got Deion Sanders out there living his best life.
Disruptor, man. He's disruptor, man.
That's right. That's what he's doing.
I think he's doing exactly what college football needs right now.
Exactly.
Like,
that's right.
It was getting very,
you
know,
it was going the same route as the NFL. Honestly,
we needed some noise, and he's making it. You know, he's making it.
Yeah.
And his prime example that leads into the same conversation that we're having now. He's coaching his children. That's probably one of the best things ever to do. I think, being a father and coaching your kid, you can't get any better than that. I don't think.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I would agree that there is something to that, but I am not sure that goes all the way through for every father and coaching their kids. And I say that not because I coach my kids, but because I have thought about what it might be like to be my kid's coach. My son wrestles in the winter, and I don't think I could do it.
I can't do it. I can tell you for a fact I can't coach my kids. Like it's man, I'm thinking about like I'm one of three kids, right? I have all boys, and when I say all boys, I'm talking about like my brothers. We're all boys, right? So I remember coaching my younger brother and how hard I was on him, and trying to apply that same tactic with my son, and we weren't friends. I had to back off because it was like I am too competitive. You know, I'm thinking about like, where would I be right now if I had a dad that was on me like this? You would be, and that's like it started to hurt our relationship.
Right. And what you ended up with, you realizing that you had a son who was about to go cry in the corner somewhere. Because you was being too hard on him, right? It's crazy, right? And I feel the same way about my son, because I coached wrestling for a while, and he wrestled last year, and I just had to step back and be like, you know what? Let me just be dad in the moment, because if I go out there and try to tell him how to wrestle, and I start getting frustrated, I don't know how he's going to take it. And I don't know how I'm going to respond, and I wasn't ready for that moment. And the coach of the team actually said it. He's like, look, I just need you guys to be parents. You be the parent. Let me yell at the kids, get them ready for stuff, keep them, on track. And then you can help them when things go wrong, and you can help them when things, you can be there to cheer them on when things go right, and you can be there to console them when things go wrong. Right. That was.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, but it requires a level of patience. Like prime example. So, both my kids, I try to put them in as much sports as possible, right? And I've waited for this moment for such a long time. I was like, finally I want to be involved. As soon as my kids are able to touch a basketball, like we going in, And there was a point, especially like my kids go to public school. I'm like, public school in New York, you gotta know how to hoop, And I didn't want them to I want him to be nervous about hitting the court. So I really try to introduce him to that culture. We go to the parks. Just imagine. I can think about it now how crazy I was as a father. I'm taking a bunch of 5 and 6 year olds into the park. You got grown men like fouling. They're looking like, you want me to play this game? I'm not doing that. I'm looking at my son like, yeah, you're gonna do this. And there was a point where like I remember Willie telling me that like, like I really want to enjoy this sport, but I can't do it because I feel like I'm doing it for you and not for me. And that was hard for me. So I had to step back. And it was very hard to step back because I felt like there was a like a timer. I feel like you're starting to get too old at 7, 8. You're supposed to be picking up a basketball 4 so we can have a story about how you became join the NBA. And I got stories of you playing basketball when you're 4. But once I stepped back and gave him that space to really fall in love with it the way I did, you know what I'm saying? Now he's coming up with me like, yo, Dad, can we shoot around? Or like, we got to go to practice. So, he's waking me up to take him to practice. But it took a level of me standing back to your point, John, and just being patient, let them do what they got to do.
Yeah. So like in my case, like Michaela never played sports.
Yeah.
And that was tough for me, being the loud, want to get into everything, make noise. I'm the cheerleader,
Joe,
and I was a cheerleader. Joe Man, what the cheerleader? Let's go Tigers!
Let's go Tigers!
So it was hard, but it was disappointing for her not to go play sports. I was like, she's gonna be tall. She's gonna be my size, so she can go play hoops. She can play this. She can play that. But it never interested her. She wanted to do gymnastics, and she tried, and that failed because she got injured. So that was difficult, but I was there. And, in that kind of setting, I had to like find myself like, down. Like, you got to let coach do your thing. But, my inner cheerleader self came out and like, let's go, let's do it. But it's hard. But I made that comment, like, I would love to be, my child's coach, and help them get to, so they can learn from my mistakes, what I wish I would have done, Hey, no, we going to the court, we're not going to play video games or now be on the cell phone. We going to the court. Let's go play, and develop our skills and hopes to get a scholarship to school or something,
But what? I guess question for everybody is, there's also a level of how kids are. They lose interest quick, right? And sometimes you trying to teach them that you gotta if you start something, you gotta finish it, or like see it through. And at what point do you at what point is it not you giving up too? Like I want them to be at least consistent, and that so I don't know, how'd you guys manage that, like especially you, John, with Trey, and he tried different sports, some he didn't like how did you kind of deal with that, kind of him flip-flopping sometimes? And
I see it from the perspective of having them try different things. And so it doesn't bother me that he may not stick with something. Like I want him to have the experience of trying different things. Like we didn't try different things growing up. You know what I'm saying? Well, Joel did. I mean, Joel played lacrosse, but you know what I'm saying. But we did football. We did track. You know what I'm saying. Y'all did basketball. I knew I couldn't do basketball. I wasn't growing fast enough. But you know what I'm saying. But it was like we didn't venture out that far beyond the realm of what we grew up with. Like, you know what I'm saying. Joel played lacrosse. I kind of wish I had to play lacrosse. But I remember they tried to get me to wrestle when I was in school, and it was like, heck no, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't about to put on no singlet and go out there and have somebody pin me down to the mat. You know what I'm saying? With they butt in my face or whatever. That wasn't going to happen to me, right?
Yeah.
But
you weren't getting violated,
right? I wouldn't get right. But in retrospect, I know the the discipline that comes along with the sport of wrestling, like, and I understand that what those kids get, boys and girls who wrestle, is an opportunity to be involved in a sport where there's nobody else. You know what I'm saying? When they go out there on that mat, it's them against the other person.
Yeah.
Most sports that you play, you are part of a team, and you ain't Michael Jordan, you ain't LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the star on the team, so you got to go out there and be part of the team. You know, and that is it's a very different way of thinking, and that's not for everybody. Everybody can't be on those team sports and be good at it in a way that feels right for them at a young age. I won't let my son play football because he's big. Like he's a stocky kid. And I know what position he's gonna play. He's gonna play lineman. They're gonna put him right on the line. He ain't gonna never had no possibility to do nothing else on that team because that's just how he built. That doesn't mean that's all that he is. So he's gonna try. I have him trying sports that maybe he'll love him, maybe he'll hate him, but he's gonna try him. So he's doing boxing right now. You know what I'm saying? He wrestles. He did lacrosse. We just trying him, and if he hates it, cool. If he loves it, cool. We'll figure those things out. So,
but John, like, question though, like, I mean, so if Trey's built, or at least if you're saying that based on his like size, they're gonna put him online. Why is that a bad thing? Like, why?
And that's a great question, because I actually told him, he and I had a conversation about it. I said, you know what? You will have many, many years of getting your body beat on. We don't have to start at age 9.
Okay.
We don't have to, so that's like, if you want to play football, son, cool. Let's work on building up your stamina, your agility, and maybe you will be a lineman. But what you won't be is a kid at age 10 who has been bruised and beaten on so much that you've already done 3 years worth of damage to your body in 1 year. You know what I'm saying? Because you've just been a lineman and your job. And so maybe you reach 13 and you want to do it. You reach 14, you get into high school and you ready to play football. I'm cool with that. You smart enough to learn, everything you need to know about being a lineman, offensive, defensive line. Maybe you at place where you could be a linebacker now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Defensive end, right? Because you've now built up your agility in a way that moves you from the line and puts you in a position where your speed and your body type are beneficial, and you don't have all those miles on you from doing it so early on.
So I agree with what you're saying, right? But there are points, like I go back to when I was in school. Like, I wish, I wish I wasn't as tall as I was, because as a young age, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I was always playing center. I played center. I played center.
Yeah.
I played center. And then you look at what is in college and in the league.
You're a point guard.
I'm a point guard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're a point guard.
So
a small point guard.
Exactly. And it defeated me. I wasn't going anywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I also wish that maybe I could have had the opportunity to maybe play football earlier than, I didn't start playing football till I was at Woodbury, freshman year Bengal football. That's the first time I played football. I mean, I played like flag and touch, but like putting the pads on and hitting and getting hit, like, battered and bruised.
Yeah.
That was my first experience. But I also wish, like, I had the opportunity to just focus on one sport and streamline that. But I also think is admirable and smart that you're giving him now the opportunity to kind of pick and choose what he's doing. Like when Michaela picked to do gymnastics. I don't know nothing. Yeah. I'm the least flexible person in the world. I don't know how to do a cartwheel. So how do you navigate that?
Yeah.
You got to give them to the next person and just sit there and take them to practice and so on and so forth. And that's the best thing you can do. But it's just being a support system. So that's how I look at that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think that I don't know. The fact that Trey decided that he wanted to go back to wrestling is great. Right. Yeah. That says a lot. Yeah. Right. The fact that he wants to go back to lacrosse in the spring, boom. And he actually made a decision. So he was an attack in lacrosse. And they ended up, the goalie stopped coming one week. And it was like, who wants to play goalie? And he was like, I'll do it. And he went in the goal and did great as a goalie. I mean, I think until the first time he got hit with a ball, then he realized that was actually there was some pain involved. But you know what I'm saying? But like the fact that he was ready to take that on, the fact that he jumped out there and did that, like I'm so proud of him for doing that. And my little one now, Wyatt is now playing soccer. So Wyatt's playing soccer. He's enjoying that so far. He's still learning the game. He don't really know what he's doing out there, but he know that he kicked the ball, and I keep telling him, don't kick it in your goal, just kick it to the other. You know what I'm saying? So, and so he's learning, and he wants to wrestle with his brother next winter or this coming winter. He wants to do lacrosse in the spring. So like that, as far as I'm concerned now, and honestly, with that said, I'm here with two guys who I would consider athletes, and I would consider myself not an athlete. Okay, I played sports. I am not an athlete. All right. The running joke was I quit football in senior year.
Man.
To be an actor.
To be an actor.
To be an actor.
And you were a damn good one.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. Thank you. That was unforeseen, but you were good though. So
yeah, you were good.
Because that would have been one thing for you to quit, and then for you to go. Oh man, that would have been painful even more. But when we saw you run straight, we're like, okay, I get it. I see it. Jeez.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't think y'all ever actually said that. It's almost been 30 years and nobody actually.
It takes some time. It takes time to admit it.
I take it. You know what I'm saying?
That was a true test to our friendship, though, because I mean, there was a feeling of betrayal amongst some of the black folks in our school. And I remember being like, man, let the man do what he want to do. Let the man do it. I remember having your back during those times. That's why I'm like, it's got to be love.
I appreciate it because for me, and again, this may be the case for the kids, right? You know, you said Joel, Michaela is not an athlete. She didn't play sports. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you realize that ain't for me.
Yeah.
Right. It don't have. There's no end goal for me. Right. Yeah. Like, so I got to figure out what is going to give me satisfaction. What's going to give me something that I can move forward with. Right. And that's honestly what we're trying to help the kids with, like at every angle, right? Trying to help them figure out what they want to do. You know.
But what was impressive though, John, was the fact that I'm thinking about your situation is that you didn't succumb to peer pressure, which is also very important as kids, right? You want to think about it. Like me, I remember I came in, coming into this country, and I'm like, soccer was my thing, but you go to a place like Woodbury down in the South, I'm like, oh yeah, I play football. Like I remember going back home and telling people that's what I'm doing. They're like, what is that? And why are you doing it? Do you really enjoy it? I'm like, not really, but I mean, I think I can, and so the idea that you left especially with, I mean, Woodbury is obviously a big football school. For you to leave with that type of pressure, I mean, was already commendable. I obviously didn't have the strength or the confidence to do that, but I ended up enjoying it later. But you know what I'm saying? But I knew that the fact that you didn't enjoy it and you actually went and pursued your dreams, I thought was like impressive.
But it was in full John mode, though.
Oh yeah, full John mode.
John mode.
He didn't care.
Didn't care with anybody. Like, I'm gonna do me. Yeah. I'm John. Yeah. And I'm gonna do me.
So funny. So when you join the choir, I'm like, you know what? I like to sing too. I'm gonna join the choir with you. Let's do it together. So I'm a football playing choir singer boy. I guess I didn't realize that's actually cliche that exists, but I went in there and I was like totally cutting the corner on this one. But anyway.
Yeah, man. And this, and Go ahead, Joe.
So I was going to ask. So Tunde, how do you navigate like city sports with your children and getting them involved? Because I don't know. I guess I'm being naive, and I know there's the recs and stuff like that. But like when I grew up in New York, like we was playing hoops, on the monkey bars, wherever, playing stickball, wiffle ball.
Yeah.
That's So how are you navigating that?
Well, when I say playing hoops here in the city, I'm not talking about rec leagues. Like I'm talking about just going to the park
21.
like 21 exactly.
Okay.
Just so, and it's a different mentality, but it's also helpful. You know what I mean? Because if you think about it, like you go in there, I mean, the the rules like in the streets and the rules in professional games are two different things. And it's always good to do it from the streets into like professional versus professional streets, because if you're like used to organized ball and you play outside, it's a different rule. Like you get like fouls aren't called. You have to have a mental toughness to you. You just have to be able to like overcome so much, and that's something that I want my kids to be able to endure. Right? It's like if you go in there, you having a tough game, it don't matter. You keep shooting, and then that's the mentality that they tell you from that. You're like in the streets. Like I remember, you have bad games, people are still feeding you, and they're like, you're gonna keep shooting till you figure it out. It's a sense of encouragement that they do there. But when you do organized ball, you're very like segmented. So I think I was trying to push them into that, but I also needed to step back and just have them understand that they weren't ready. You got to be ready mentally. Like I wanted that as a kid because I was looking for like belonging. My kids aren't looking for belonging. They just want to be able to enjoy it, and that's a different mentality for me. I came into this country as a immigrant that had an accent, and I was super chubby. And I realized that like when I got my growth spurt and then I'm playing ball and I'm actually good at it in the streets, like the same people that were bullying me in third period are the ones that are encouraging me like after school. They were like my friends, So I saw that as kind of like a way to kind of like develop friendship. But my kids don't need that same path. So to your answer, Joel, it's like I just step back. I show them a little bit, know that it exists, so that like as they're like starting to kind of hone in their craft, maybe I can slowly introduce them to it, and it doesn't seem so foreign. I think I just jumped on it too early.
So what is that? So the whole idea, and you brought up something very interesting, the idea of like being mentally tough, being mentally ready for like, what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? What does that feel like? Because I feel like I look at my kids, and I was definitely, I mean, they play for a little rec league in our area, right? So they play for the little rec league in the area and things. I was worried about them at first, because these were not kids that they go to school with, right? My kids go to private school; they're a little soft, but I'll be honest, they're a little soft. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Trey was at practice today, and the kids, like, there's a playground next to where they practice. The kids is out on the playground. They are joning on each other, or snapping on each other, whatever you call it, right? And they doing it on purpose. Like they literally just everybody just standing there doing it on purpose, right? And so I think to myself, I'm like, yo, how would he handle that? I don't know. I'm not sure that he can handle that. So let alone if I'm not sure he can handle that, I'm not sure how he handle if somebody get on the team or on the and somebody be like, yo, you suck.
You suck.
You ain't get off the court, get off the field, get off the like I don't, and I'm like, yo, how would he handle that? And I don't know. That's one of my biggest concerns, right?
But don't if you questioning it, right? So then you kind of sheltering him. And this is my perspective. Like I think you're sheltering them or sheltering and not allowing for, because at some point they're gonna come and they're gonna start joning on them. They're gonna make fun of them. They're gonna say, "Oh, you a wrestler? You ain't. Some derogatory comments gonna come out, and
right.
And he's gonna have to. How's he gonna fend for himself? You know what I'm saying?
You know what's interesting, Joe? Like, but I've seen it, John. Like I've seen that moment. I think it was Wally, like where you actually half the thing about sports, outside of just if you just have a God-given gift, is confidence. That's it. Like if you are confident, you will be able to hit that pinnacle. And the idea, in my opinion, like the people that are able to supersede their like God-given talent is people that have that like um, embrace that like confidence at a much early age. Like when you're looking at YouTubes and you seeing like 3-year-olds over there like dribbling and crazy handles, that was because they at some moment it clicked that like, yo, I'm good at this. I know I'm good at this, and like all of a sudden, like I'm willing to work twice as hard to be able to get better. I remember like my son, we're doing karate, right? And they were both on there. And Sade was like, Sade is one of those people. She's tall, but she's a natural athlete, so she doesn't have to do much and she gets by. Well, he's the one's got to work a little hard, mainly because he gets bored quickly. That's really what it comes down to. When he's bored, he doesn't get interested. But what's crazy is that like Sade like moved up a level, and that you can imagine sibling rivalry. He feels like, yo, I got to get up too. So so there's a test happens every 2 weeks, whatever. Shadi passed, well, he didn't, which means he has to wait 2 weeks before he gets tested again. When I say I have never seen him so laser focused, like what kid comes home and starts like he would do his homework and start practicing on his own. I remember walking into the room and then he'd be like doing his little thing like in a corner by himself. I've never seen anything like this. Yo, when we went into when he had his test, yo, he came in, no smiles. Half the time, I'm like, well, they stop smiling, stop getting another. Yo, no smiles. He looked at the teacher, was like, yo, can I go now? Teacher's like, slow down. It's not your turn yet. But it's like almost like a dog ready to get off a cage. He was like ready. Right. As soon as they said, okay, time to do whatever like routine he had to do, he was sharp. And you could tell he was like, yo, there was no way this man is going to say that I'm not passing. When he was done, he looked at him like, I passed, right? And the teacher was like, yeah, you did. And you need to do this all the time, but it takes him having his back against the wall for him to push. But yo, that dog in him, that's what I keep looking for.
Did he did this all on his own?
All on his own.
All on his own. So the perseverance of not being able to move on the same level as his sister, who is his elder, right?
Yeah.
She's older.
Yeah.
By a year. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it was real competition.
Oh, it's real competition.
And he was like, I'm not having this.
Nah, he's not having I'm not having it.
That's pretty dope.
But that's what you try to encourage. Like I try to encourage like by introducing him to like the street ball, and it's him more than anything is him getting confidence. And the reason why, like going back to what I was saying, I had to step back was I realized that he is already confident in himself. It was my insecurities that I was trying to pull apart because remember that's what helped me with my confidence back then. Mm-hmm. But my son is one of the kids where he's not a follower. I was, he doesn't need sports to build his confidence. He already has that. So now I realize that that's a step I don't need to do with him. Now that confidence, I just want him to apply it to a sport he enjoys so that, sky's the limit. Cause I've seen it in him. He just got to want it, what I'm saying? On his own.
Right. John, do you see like your boys having confidence in their careers? That's a kid. They're not there yet. In their experiences as they're experiencing these paths of sports right now.
That's a good question. I think that what I am seeing right now is that they are. Let me first say. Let me back up. It don't come easy for Trey. Like sports, it is not. It's not easy for him. That's not his nature. Is very much like his father. Like he is very cerebral, in that aspect. So everything is all mental to him, and so it doesn't come natural to him. He don't have that mentality right now because his focus is on trying to understand like the pieces, the individual pieces. You know what I'm saying? And so he's not the kid that will, and the way I see athletes is that it's natural. And what I mean by that is that it almost is everything they do is second nature, and it hasn't gotten to that point for him where the things that he does in sports is second nature, right? So, when he played basketball, it was like, what did the coach tell me to do? Okay, get to that place. It was when he started wrestling, it was okay, what were the moves that the coach told me to do? Let me try one. And then, and then he would focus when he first started, he was like, Daddy, okay, I just learned this new move. This is the move I'm going to do in the next wrestling match. It's like, no, that's not how you do it. It's like, if the opportunity come up, then that's the move you use. You practice, you learn it, but you don't focus on trying to do that particular move the whole wrestling match. Otherwise, you will lose. Right. And that's, what I'm saying. And so that's the kind of conversation I had to have with him. Now with Wyatt is more he's built for speed. Wyatt built for speed. Okay. He is a small kid. He is
nimble.
He is nimble. He's a more athletic kid. But again, he's still like his parents. So he is still very cerebral, but he has a moment right now, I think, as he is playing team sports, where he is learning to get over that hurdle of like thinking about it and just doing it. And so, he's 6. I think that's probably like right in that wheelhouse of the timing for that. And so that's what he's doing. He's getting to that place where so my job as dad, I think, is to put them in a situation where they feel comfortable in whatever mode they're in, right? Like whether they are the thinker or the doer, and know that, at the end of the day, I don't care about winning. What I care about is that you going out there and trying your best. Like you putting your full effort into it. And so for me, that's one thing that I always tell my boys is like, look, I don't care whether you win. It doesn't hurt me if you lose. I want you to go out there and do your best. If you can tell me that you put your all effort into it, then I am as proud of you as any dad will ever be. So,
win or lose.
I mean, but I'm gonna talk about the other point though. Winning is something. There's something about winning. Let's call it what it is, right? Because it goes back to like really building upon that confidence. Like it's hard to really like motivate these kids if they're giving it like, you know how it is. Like even as adults, the idea of like trying, working hard for something and not accomplishing it. I mean, it's a hard saddle to get back on, right? So imagine with a 6 or 7-year-old, they keep losing. It's like, I mean, that mental stuff. So what I say the same thing with my kids in terms of like, I just want to make sure you give it 100%. If we're gonna spend this time, like time shouldn't be wasted. So if we're gonna spend this time, let's give it 100%. But like, I always encourage them to like not just do enough to get by, but to win. Like we want to win. And if you have that mentality and we come up short, then the idea is like, what can we do better for us to accomplish the win? Because the win is what's going to keep them going, right?
Oh yeah. Oh no, that's for sure. 100%. That's for sure.
Daddy, we keep losing. We owe him 30. Like I don't want to go back tomorrow, and I'll be like, you're right. I don't want to go back either. Like you got to win a game, son.
Like that 1-9 season we had.
Like the 1-9.
Oh, that 1-9. Look, that was part of the reason why I was like, you know what?
This ain't fun.
I was like 1-9. I'm not in it with 1-9. See, I'm going back. See, that's what I'm like.
Ooh, so for in my case, fellas, like Michaela didn't play sports, right? Yeah. But right now, I feel like right now in this point in my life and her life, I am playing sports per se, but I'm going back to my thing at Woodbury of being a cheerleader. I'm in her corner, pushing her, and I think that's what we're doing as fatherhood, right? Fathers of sports, but now I'm real life. Yeah. Well, I think with sports, we're taking that and building some kind of foundation and understanding how we take sports and translate that into life struggles or gifts or winning, So my biggest thing now is I just try to be the best role model I can be for Michaela. So, business, entrepreneurship, what it takes. I took that journey and did 75 hard, which was a challenge, but she was there watching me go through this struggle of beating myself up day in, day out, struggling to get all the workouts in, all the reading, all the water.
How much weight did you lose?
35 pounds.
That's crazy. You look good though.
I was down to 220.
That's high school.
Man. I was 220. Man. I gained 15 pounds back, but I'm ready to get back down a little bit more. I'm not feeling it. But so I feel like now I'm just a cheerleader, a coach, trying to give her all the tools that I can give her so that she can, whatever decision she makes, she can make the choices in the right path of some sort. Of course she's going to make mistakes. Businessman, I made plenty of mistakes, still making mistakes, but I try to learn from them as quick as possible and then teach her too. So I'm really transparent with her. I'm really open about what's going on, with finances, with, having to manage folks. And that's kind of like me coaching and being a cheerleader. She's getting ready to go start doing esthetician school. So, hey, how's that going? You need some, some clients to practice on. What do you need? So on and so forth, kind of deal. And I'm gonna put my cheerleader outfit on and let's go. Kayla, yeah.
You know what? I love that, Joel, because I think that is something that, again, that goes back to the whole idea of the part that we play as fathers, as parents, right? It really is to be our kids' cheerleader. It is to, cheer them on for better or for worse, what I'm saying, making sure that they know that we are in their corner. And I guess for some parents it's harder than others to disconnect because they living through their kids.
Yeah.
Right. And so you can't be a cheerleader if you trying to get them to be what you couldn't be. Right.
Yeah.
And so
vicariously through them.
Right. And it's something to be said about not worrying about what I couldn't be, but worrying about what they can be. Right. Yeah. So pushing them to be their best selves in everything that they do, and not trying to say, well, if I was doing it, right, it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about me. They gotta be happy, just like you said about Wale Tunde. It's they gotta be happy and ready to make that commitment for themselves. Right. And when they're ready to make that commitment for themselves, and whatever they do, not just sports, right? Yeah. So whatever they do, when they're ready to make that commitment for themselves, the sky is the limit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it's great to get that trophy without a shadow of a doubt. And I want to, I'm gonna show this picture because when this happened, I knew he was ready to go back to play. I knew he was ready to go back. Oh, dang, I took it off. Man, I was gonna show y'all the picture. Anyway, I got a picture of my son winning his trophy. Now it was second place, but he won. You know what I'm saying?
But he got a trophy.
He beat the kid, you know what I'm saying? And it was a tough match. It went right down to the wire, right? And so that was like a big moment for him. Yeah. So
that being said, because
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's a nice second place trophy right there.
Yeah, he got a nice big one too.
Yeah, nice one.
He got a trophy, a medal. He got all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? He was.
Hey, but this is what I was thinking about because you told us this topic. So my mind started going and started thinking. And this big thing of participation trophies, participation awards, I don't think that is this is just building
I mean, there's winners and losers.
You don't love the participation trophy? You don't love it?
It's the worst idea ever. It's building and it's developing the mentality of anything you do, you're supposed to get a reward of some sort, no matter what. The work ethic isn't there. You just show up.
Everybody shouldn't get a reward. Are you kidding me? Like,
hey, that's not real life.
It's not real life. It's not real life.
But that's what is being taught.
That
is what is the like people get, like the kids get trophies for last place. Like, you don't get it. I didn't get a trophy.
Right.
And growing up, I was on a lot of last place teams and I didn't get a trophy. And I didn't even get a pizza party, and you see the champions, because I was at the Boys and Girls Club and I was there all the time. You see the champions in there, they just hooting, hollering, and pizza and this and that, and all the parents. I didn't get.
But it made you not want to feel like that no more, right?
Yeah, it
like
did.
You was like, I don't want to feel like this ever again. And so it forced you to work harder, to think about, like, okay, if I want to continue to do this, I don't like this feeling. I don't want. And imagine all those kids out there getting them participation trophies. I like this feeling.
Yeah.
Shoot,
I won something. I got a sticker. Something. I got a sticker.
Yeah.
I agree.
You get a sticker for being a bad kid, or but like the dog, after losing, the dog comes out in you. You know what I'm saying? Like next year, oh no, we ain't having that. The dog came out the following year.
Yeah.
And you learn from that. But that participation trophy, it needs to go. You instilling the softness in these kids, and these are the generations that they're gonna take care of us when we're in the nursing home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need a soft child. I need someone that's going to be able to talk to the doctor or say something and be like, no, my dad ain't going there. Okay. He'll participate. Give him a trophy.
I think it'll be okay. Right. I think, you don't want that. You don't want that kid.
Whatever you think, it's okay. No, I need someone to make a sound decision, because the platform in which we gave them, the path we laid, is there,
Right. They're gonna fight for better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. They're gonna fight for better, right? They're gonna fight for what they want. All right.
Let that dog come out, and that's what Deion Sanders is doing. He's getting these men or boys to come out and transform. Like, we go back to what he did. He had a meeting and said, hey, look, if you can't handle my words, I think you need to go ahead and put yourself in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
So everyone in transfer portal except these 3 white kids, and they still there, and they balling, balling. Those words did not affect them at all.
You know what's interesting about Deion and what he's doing that I think, I mean, a guy like that is disruptor is going to get the hate, right? But the fact that one of the hardest things to do in an organization, because that's what it is at the end of the day, is change culture. Like, you have to be unapologetically disruptive and confident in your vision, regardless of what the noise is. And that's exactly what it is. Like it could have gone either way for him. No, like either way though, it could have gone either way. Meaning that
prime time.
Prime time. But you know what I'm saying? It could have gone. But he was like, listen, if I go in there and these kids like have the same passion that I have, not only to win but for each other, like, ain't nothing gonna stop us. So like with me, the reason why I appreciate him, and it's not even like the antics and all that, is the fact that, like, that he loves his kids, like he loves them and he wants what's good for them. And like I always like support people like that, black or white. Like, that he loves his kids. Like that's somebody that I if I was a kid, like I would want to play for. If I was a parent, I would want my kid to play for. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, kudos to him.
Yeah, that's
how do you? Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joe.
I was going to ask a question.
Yeah,
go ahead,
quick. I'll go to. So, like in Deion's case, just listening, he doesn't have the C on his jerseys. He has a D for dog and L for leader. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he's trying to define. He said, you're going to give me a boy to come into this program. I'm going to give you a man, no matter what. It may not go to the NFL, but you're going to get a man by the time they leave my program.
Yep.
You have a team that is majority black, but you can't come and say it's a racial team or whatever, because you have two leaders, offensive coordinator is white, defensive coordinator is white. Yeah. He's doing the damn thing. Yeah. And he's going to continue making noise. I think it's great. It's great for sports in general.
I agree. But let me ask you guys this: how do you think that's? I don't even know how to ask this question. Is that something that is taught? Like, do you think his sons are that way as well? Are they following this like
you don't have a choice?
You don't mentality of being a disruptor, of being you do have a choice. You know what I'm saying? You don't think you have a choice?
No, what I say,
not in his household.
Yeah, I think
he's an alpha male.
Yeah, I think sometimes, right or wrong, I think sometimes you're in a situation where, like, if you have an alpha male in a home like that, you either get along, you don't, and that could also mean a lot of tension, a lot of fights at times where, like, you just aren't on the same page. But if you follow, if you believe in the plan, I mean, this is where he's going to take you. But it's like, right or wrong, he's like, you're going to do it 100%. I think once his sons decided that they were going to play this game, they knew what they were getting into. And I think that, like, the challenge, though, was probably like positions, because I believe, like, not the quarterback, but like the cornerback didn't start off as a cornerback, right? Wasn't there, like, I feel like there was some behind that before he ended up doing that.
Mm-hmm. So, and he wears his dad's number.
Yeah.
Right. But I think, and it could, to your point too, like, it could backfire, right?
Yeah.
Because what you have, and I don't think that you have a situation, right, where you're growing up, your father is very famous. He's a professional baseball player, professional football player, a Hall of Famer, right? Yeah. Prime time.
Yeah.
Like, and he's very outgoing, and his mouth is there.
Legendary.
Legendary. It is legendary, right?
Yeah.
And do you follow in his footsteps? But the thing is like, I think he taught them the right way and say, hey, you want to be successful like me, follow my path. And the path I'm going to lead you on is success. I'm not going to lead you in another direction. I'm going to lead you the right way in which he led them to the water. He taught them how to drink. They drinking. They going to teach the next folks how to drink water and keep on going and survive. And he's doing it. And that's part of, like, what we're doing. We're doing as fathers. After we had children, it ain't about us anymore.
Right.
We're beginning to lay the foundation for our children. It's not the foundation that we have. Maybe the foundation isn't there yet all fully, and over our heads, but we have to begin to lay the foundation for them.
Yeah, and I think, I agree with you, Joe. I think you make a good point there, that whole idea of the foundation and really trying to put something in place for our kids is the reality, I think, of everything that we do. It goes to every aspect. We want them to be better than we were, right? We want them to try the things that maybe we never felt like we could or were able to or had the ability to,
or opportunity to,
or the opportunity to, right? So we try to put them in the position to have those things, to do those things, right? Like, right down to, and I appreciate my wife for this, the idea of starting my kids off with their own businesses young, and learning what that means to have a business. And if you don't want to make money, then you won't make money. right? You know what I'm saying? If you don't put in the effort, then nothing happens. Nothing comes from it, right?
Drop that handle real quick. Drop Trey's lemonade.
Right. Well, you know, I think he might be done with it. I think he might be done with it for now. I think he has decided that we'll see. When next time he want to earn some money, it might be a pop up. You know what I'm saying? That's how it go. But you know, but those are the kind of things that I think are very much in line with the idea of putting your kids in the position to be successful. And I wish I could say that, you know, I knew the formula for my kids to go off and own their own businesses or be, you know, star athletes. I don't have that formula, right? But I do know what it means. The formula that I do have, the one that I have developed over these years, is how to be a man of integrity, right? How to be somebody who is someone that people will turn to when they need support, right? That's what I know. And it don't earn a whole lot of money necessarily, but it does have a foundation that could in fact put him in a position where he can do more than what I've been able to do.
And so yours is integrity, and I think mine would be hard work. You know, I'm not lazy. You know, and in my older years, I've perseverance, keep going, don't give up. You know, you just gotta keep going. At some point, it's going to come to fruition. You can't be lazy. You can't give up, and just keep coaching in the sense that you believe in what you want to believe in. But first and foremost, believe in yourself and keep going for it, and work as hard as you possibly can. That would be mine. Would be hard work, and I show that day in and day out.
That's important. That's real important, man. Well,
Jojo.
Wow, man. We are already bumping up against the hour. I can't believe this. It has already been an hour. Obviously, we could talk way longer than an hour, and we might do it after we get off the air because we ain't talked together, all three of us, in a long time. It's been a little while. So, you know, thank you guys for being here on the show. Thank you for joining me here on Daddy Confessions. No, seriously, Joe, I do want you to plug your spot though.
So you know, working hard, as we say, at the car wash, family owned and operated. There's occasion when Michaela comes in and helps out, which is great. So, you know, teaching skills there, but at the car wash, a scrub above the rest, Fredericksburg, Virginia. You need some car cleaning, come holler at your boy. I got you.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It's a good spot. It's a good spot. And you can drop your car off with Joel at the spot, get it clean, detail. Y'all still doing tinting as well?
No more tinting, man.
No more tinting.
No, we're doing paint corrections and ceramic coatings.
There you go. Ceramic
okay.
coatings.
Yeah.
Get all that done, and you're gonna need it driving down to Fredericksburg. You're gonna need some ceramic coating hitting them roads out there, and then you can go. You know, you can leave the car. You can go down the road, hit some other stuff up right there while he working on the car. You know what I'm saying? Getting it right for you. And it's a great spot. You know, it's on the way to our home
down south. Down south or up north,
in good old Charlottesville too. On the way to our home in Charlottesville. You know, people already booking hotels for reunion.
I know. I was like, I gotta get a double. Like, you cancel it anytime too. I gotta get it anyway.
I know. Hey, so wait, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in a minute. But
wait, going to sports. We're going to sports, right? And you didn't want us. You weren't talking to trash. It's 3-3 right now.
Wait, but I think he's trying to wrap up.
I'm trying to wrap the show. We're gonna keep. You guys stay here, but I'm gonna close out the show. All right. Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Daddy Confessions. Catch us on all the, well, not all the social medias. Don't nobody use X no more. But we on Instagram. We on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? You can email me at thedaddyconfessions@gmail.com if you have a question, if you want to be on a show. You know what I'm saying? You can leave me a video message as well. Don't leave me a video message. Just email me. You can also hit me up on Instagram at thedaddyconfessions on Instagram. I'm there sometimes. I don't really do social media like that. Next episode will be on October the 5th. I'm pinning down who's going to be on there, but it'll be October the 5th. We're doing every other week. I know people like, but you're not on every week. Well, whatever. Every other week. I'm a daddy. Okay.
Daddy.
I got stuff going on. I got the life happens. All right. But I look forward to the next episode. Thank you for joining me tonight for this episode. Peace.
Thanks for having me.